Welcome everyone to the Goddess Temple. My name is Chris, and for today's message, what I have coming through is this desire to truly step into yourself. And you've been doing the work, you've been putting in the efforts, you've been putting in all the pieces, everything that's needed for you to realign yourself, for you to heal yourself, for you to be experiencing a certain life that just feels so much more of you, full of life, full of abundance, full of prosperity, full of growth, full of expansion, full of creativity. And I did say love, right? Full of love too, if I didn't. And so when you're stepping into this, and it's not that when you are, you have, and you're in this little place of being reminded again that to let go, to let go of what you've created and the need to know when and why and how things are going to happen and how it's all going to unfold. Be open to the availability of the unfolding. Be open to it. It'll move a lot more smoothly and you will get to where you are going to be. It's just the timing may just be different. And I know how frustrating that can be because even for me, I go through this day in and day out every single day. I have to remind myself, okay, no, I am gonna get what it is that I'm looking for. It's just what's coming to me right now is just different, and there's just a different season of life that I'm moving through. And so focusing on that to rebuild, to replenish, to rethink even the way that I see myself, even the way that I see others, just to rethink life and what it actually means. And it's not just a complete reinventing the whole thing and creating a whole different other meaning to life. It's just looking at life in a different perspective, seeing myself, seeing the self in a different perspective. That's what's being called for right now, is being able to see yourself differently and to become familiar with it, because this is also another part of you that you have not acknowledged, that's been going on, whether it's doing good or doing bad, whatever friction, whatever story, whatever it is. This part of you, give it some acknowledgement, give it some presence, give it some attention, because it will reflect to you where you are going, what's needing to be harnessed and transitioned through. And so the more you keep stepping into this little sweet spot, you really begin to see who you are and who you've been in this lifetime and who you continue to be. And when I say lifetime, I mean this moment, in this moment, with this physical body, with this consciousness, with this brain, this neurology, this pathology that you, all of this body that you are operating from. The way that your soul mingles with this physical body, and for it to perceive that chemistry, that chemical reaction, to perceive reality for what it is. Get familiar with it, because it will show you a lot about who you are, a lot about life that you have not seen, a lot about life that you haven't seen in this body, and maybe even what you may have perceived as a soul, but now you're in a place where you get to experience it. And so allow yourself to actually experience what it means to be human in this perspective, in this conscious awareness. The more that you begin to see parts of you that you haven't seen before, it's a different part in your body is being unlocked. A different part of you is coming to life. And a different part of you meets people differently. and tends to them differently, takes care of them differently. Life can be quite a jarring, it can be quite intense. And the more you keep living life, you see the intensity of it. To a certain degree, yes, you can transcend all of this, but it's not going to get you very far. Why is that? Because you need to ground it. And the grounding of all of these, transcending all of these identities, all of these stories, being able to see clearly. So, all of this transcendence, all of this awareness, it's the grounding that really allows it to take shape. And you'll realize that when you're grounding all of this, you begin to create. And the chemical reaction that happens with that is the creation of you grounding what you have transcended, what you have seen, what has erupted you, what has caused this disturbance, what has caused this lust and this, what is it? This overindulgence, right? Gluttony. All of these desires, all of these eruptions, you transcend them, but for you to transcend it, to see that you are not that, it's coming back into your body to integrate it and to move through it, to see a different perspective of it. That what you are experiencing is not good or bad, but it's neutral. And then it's from transcending and then coming back into your body to ground it that you meet this little sweet spot where something new comes through, a new transition, a new transformation, a new knowing, a new something comes through. And it's this little sweet, sweet, sweet place that you give birth to you. You truly give birth to who you are here to be, who you are, who you have become. And the more that you step into who you've become, the more you realize what life has to offer. And it's in this offering that you touch parts of you that you haven't touched before. And for this new part to even come through, you do have to move through what's there. You do have to move through the density. You can't bypass anything. There is no spiritual bypassing. There is no toxic positivity. All of these wonderful, wonderful words and experiences. You still have to go through it because you don't know what you don't know until you've lived it. And even at every stage of your growth, you're beginning to understand even deeper what these meanings are, what these passages are, what these rights are to transcend, to become, to continue to transform and become so much more, and to become even more, and to become and become and become. To be reborn, to be rebirthed through your own vessel over and over and over again. Till eventually you realize that you can be okay, and that you've done everything you possibly could have with the current external circumstances of life, the density, the 3D, and with your ability to grow and transcend and transform and create. You've created a life in a world that not only surpasses you, but also surpasses people around you too. That supports people in their transition along their journey and path. And you find out that you're not giving up. That at some point, the growth becomes the rest. Being able to just rest, to collapse, and then to get back up, and then collapse again, and get back up. And I get how that type of path is is quite dense, is quite heavy, it's quite exhausting. The thing is, it's something that you will experience at some point with whatever journey that you're on, with whatever choices that you've made. At some point, you will experience it, and then you will experience it again, and then again, and then again. And even with that, it just becomes easier. Not because it's just easy and that the challenge isn't there, it's just you'd rather do nothing else than that. You'd rather do nothing else than create what you're creating, build what you're building, be around the people that you're around. You'd rather do that than nothing else. And you begin to just really settle into who you are here to be. Forget what anyone else and all the rules that are put out there. You realize that those rules just, they're too restrictive for you. And we're faced with this through years and years and years, millennia of transcending society, transcending stories, limitations, even the way that we progress in society. We've created this divide, and we're in a place right now that we're like, okay, you know what? We actually see it. We're calling you out on it. And at the same time, I don't care that it feels like a disservice to you. And the moment that you begin to transcend, I had to pause the video for a little bit, so I hope I'm following through back with what I was saying. I hope it's still in alignment. Um, so yes, so the more you keep transcending through all of this, and you keep falling and keep getting back up, you come back into a place of you, and you realize that, like I've said, you know, you're gonna keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna keep creating. You're gonna keep playing. That these characters, these qualities that you have, you're not changing it. That there is a core part of you that's there, and that core part, it's not good or bad, but it can do better. It can do a little bit more. And so you're welcoming that in a little bit more. And you're moving through a little bit more of your life, and eventually you realize I can still breathe even at this age of my life, at this time in my life. And if this brings me all of this, then what's gonna happen with other things? How are other things in life gonna look? And how does that transform? How does that unfold? And to be curious enough, the older you get, to be curious enough to not be defeated, but curious for life to truly, truly unfold. To just slow down so you can hear your own heartbeat. To not be in such a rush to get to the next phase, because this one right here is just so abundant. It's full. And this fullness leads you to the next fullness. And then the next, and then the next. Each fullness leads you to this center void space, this abyss. And it's from this abyss that it's just pure light. It's darkness and it's light, and it's the place where life comes and goes. And it's during that place, it's in that place that life happens, that you get to create. You create from that space, from that 0 point, from that abyss, from that heart center. Truly settling in with your body into your life can show you a little bit more about what you're here to do, and keep creating. Honestly, just keep creating. At times, whatever you're creating, it just feels dull and whatever, and it's not good. The thing is, you're right, it's not good. It actually isn't. But it's like, are you gonna actually put in the work to create it and to do better, to genuinely just do better? Are you gonna just be satisfied with what you got? Because you are. And there's people that will meet you there. There's others that'll meet you there along the journey, but then it's just for that little brief moment, and then you're off again, or they're off. All of it is abundant and holy. All of it is. I'm just gonna check in to see where else this message wants to go, because I just want a little bit more substance here. Just a little bit more. You know, even that little wanting a little bit more, even that's a choice, because you can be purely content with everything, or you can want more. You can want more from such a pure place, or you can want more from curiosity, or you can want more from despair and deep longing. Whatever the journey, if you can listen and hear this, is that it doesn't make you a good or bad person for wanting, but to genuinely listen to it, and to let that listening, to let those ears hear and see where this is coming from. This perceptive ability really allows you to meet yourself, to see something that no one else sees, no creature on earth sees, really. However, there are people that do see quite a bit, but some people just give you the right information in that moment, and it's not that they even see anything, it just is something that inspires them to say that. It's quite fascinating the way the world works, and the way life works. It's quite beautiful, to be honest. And I feel like that's just where I'm going to be leaving it. I really hope that there is something quite of something that you were able to take in and let this really unfold for you and show you a little bit more about who you are. I wish you guys all the best, and I will speak to you soon.